Hello, my name is Greg Perkins. I'm the instructor for this Math 3A Calculus class. It is the fall of 2025. So when you first log on to Canvas, it would look like this for the home page. I basically have all of the weeks set up. So when you go and look at week 1, August 25th through 29, there are the notes and the video lectures, as well as extra examples for the sections that we're doing that week. Also at the top, there's always going to be a reminder of what's due this week. So you can click on that and see that you need to watch the intro video. Good job. Also, separately, I'm going to make a video explaining how MyMathLab works for the online homework and quizzes. So also sign up for an account, which when you watch this second video about MyMathLab, I explain how to make that account. And then watch the video lectures for sections 2.1 and 2.2, do the participation quiz on Wednesday, and then the homework is going to do on Friday. So that's basically how a week will work. So the actual links to the videos and the notes are going to be here. So you could just go ahead and click on the video and watch the video.
All right, here we go. The first section of calculus.
So with these videos, I don't have it pointing my face. I have it pointing down so that whenever I need to use the graphing calculator, I can just put that down and show you how to use the graphing calculator. And then you can go ahead and watch the video and take notes. Also, when I was finished writing those notes, I then scanned that. So if you don't want to write out the notes, or if you want to see the notes as they were written, then there's a copy in there. So basically, like I said, when I was finished with the video, then I just made a PDF of the notes that I had just made. So that's available. And there's also extra examples that I've made for every section. Also here under Math 3A information, so this is some information that you'll need, like the syllabus that we're going to go over. This is a list of what's due and when it's due, which is also on the syllabus. It's also going to be basically a repeat of what's due this week, just in another place. And now let's take a look at the syllabus. So the textbook is the mymathlab.com, so that is required. That's where the homework and the online quizzes are done. Also, it would be good to have a graphing calculator like the TI-84. And one important thing is the layout is every Monday and Wednesday and Friday, there will be something due. Rather than waiting till the end of the week and saying, here's a whole bunch of stuff that's due on one day, it's broken up a little bit on Monday, a little bit on Wednesday, a little bit on Friday. So if you actually scroll down to pages 2 and 4, I even say, please save those pages or print them out, because these are the due dates for the whole semester. So you know what's due every Monday, Wednesday, Friday throughout the whole semester. So there are different types of work that we're doing. So the MyMathLab homework and MyMathLab quizzes, I'll explain in the second video dedicated to MyMathLab. There's also podcast problems, which are very easy to do. So if you look at right here are all of the podcast problems. Basically, it's just for each section, I made up 2 extra examples, and then you click on this link, and I made a video for each and every one of those examples. So you would just watch the video and write down what I wrote down to verify that you actually watched the video. You'll then make a PDF and upload it. Of course, if you look at the questions and you can do them yourself, then that's fine. But there's a video for each one where I show you step by step. And also, these are like the most essential problems. They're not like extra, garbage problems. They're like, these are the most important things that we're doing. You definitely need to know how to do these skills. So that's let me go back to the syllabus. That's the podcast problems. And then problem sets. So the problem set is basically Like Monday, September 1st, there's the problem set number 1, and these are graded on correctness. The podcast problems, I basically just look at them and see if you did the 12 questions or whatever it was, 12 videos you were supposed to watch, and it looks like all the work is there, then I give you the 12 points. With the problem sets, I actually do grade them for correctness. And with the problem sets, so the first one would be due in here. So there's problem set number 1, where you would see the actual questions. And it would be best if you could either print it out, or if you've got a tablet, you can upload it to your tablet and then show work in the space provided. And they're always just 2 pages long, so pages 1 and 2. And then this one is review. It is algebra / pre-calculus review on this side, or this first page, and then it's trigonometry review for the second page. And if you just look back to where I got that, so whenever there's a problem set due, then the handout for it will be right here, and then there's a video where I take examples that are very similar. So I'll even look at problem set number 1, I'll say, okay, I'm going to do one like number 2 right here, except instead of sine, I'm going to use cosine, and then I work out very similar examples. So that should be helpful with the problem sets. All right, so we've covered the problem sets, the podcast problems. MyMathLab is going to be in the second video after this one, and then also participation quizzes. So basically, participation quizzes are once a week. As you can see, they're every Wednesday. So participation quiz on Wednesday, participation quiz 2 on Wednesday, and there's a couple of ways you can get to the participation quiz. Is when you look at what's due this week, then you could just click on the link for participation quiz. And you could also go over here to assignments and then see there's the participation quiz. So you just click on it. And sometimes it's just going to be like this first one is going to be information about yourself so that I get to know my students. And then as we go through, sometimes it's going to be some math questions that you were supposed to be able to do by that particular time. And then I might also say, so how did you do on problem set number 1? Do you have any questions about it? So it's just sort of a check-in, both math and how the class is going. So the participation quizzes are due every Wednesday, and as long as you're keeping up on the class, those are not too hard at all. All right, so I'll keep this Math 13A up here because it's going to have the syllabus and what's due and all of the podcast problems. Also, you do need to be able to create a PDF. So when you go to turn something in, when you go to turn in like a problem set, so when you go to turn in a problem set, okay, so right now, to be honest with you, it's August 19th, so the class hasn't started yet. So once the class starts, then there would be a button right about here where you would then upload your work, and it does need to be a PDF. So let me just go back to that home page. And if you don't know how to create a PDF with your phone, then just use this link right here. And then also, like when you do problem set number 1, and you're working on page 2 with the trigonometry, you may want to come in here and get some extra review from trigonometry. So this will stay here. And then as we're done with a week, then I'll just move this out of the way, move it to the bottom. So basically each week when you go and log on to Canvas, whatever week we're working on, that's going to be right there. And then the Math 3A information will be at the top. And let's see if I've covered everything with the syllabus. So one important thing is with the problem sets and podcast problems, that is that you do not just put the answer, but you show all of the steps, because I grade actually the steps, not just the answer. So make sure that you show all of your work. Also, no late work is accepted. As you can see, all of the due dates are there. The assignments in Canvas are open a week before they're actually due. So if you know, oh, I'm going to Kansas on Wednesday, well, you can go early and go and do the participation quiz or whatever the assignment is. So you can turn stuff in early, but not late. One other small detail which I please ask you, and that is, oh, I didn't mean to close that. And that is, if you look at the top of the syllabus, my email is gperkins@hartnell.edu. So that's, of course, a Gmail account. That's the best way to contact me. If you do it through Canvas, yes, I get the message, but you'll have an attachment and I can't see the attachment because Canvas message system isn't 100% reliable. But if you use the gperkins, that's Gmail, which is 100% reliable. Okay, so now I'm going to make the MyMathLab video, so take a break, get a refreshment, and then come back. And I'll see you in a moment.